So let's talk about darkness. I want to start with this. There's two forms of darkness, really. There's the darkness that we know as evil. This is the thing that I think has been a lot in the media, and this is the darkness that I think a lot of us are, especially in the spiritual spaces, are scared of. And I want to get this out the way first. So there's the first form of darkness that we might know as evil, is not the darkness that I keep saying that I'm sitting with. This is a very important distinction. The darkness that we know is evil is not darkness. It is the rejection of light. It is knowing that there is a light that is fueling me. And you might call the light the divinity, the God source, the all being, so like whatever your word is for that knowing that there is this universal creator, that there is this higher power. And evil, really, darkness in terms of evil, really is that denial of it. This I know better than that I am doing this for me. This is that I'm going to micromanage anything. This is for me, and I'm not, and I'm doing it only for me. Like that really is the definition of evil, darkness and evil, that I need to hold it. This is where we get like greed and power struggles. This is what we really see in, politics and Hollywood and all of this stuff. This is like, I am doing this for me. And if I have the channel, and I have the force, and I have all of these things, I'm like, no, I am not doing it for you. I'm going to do it for me, and I know better. And don't you dare try and come into this. But then there's the other form of darkness, which is the one that I'm really, really interested in. And that is that, when you have the dark night of the soul, when you're in this thing of like life is really hard, when you're in this, like, I don't really know what to do anymore. Everything that I've known to be true has now dismantled and disappeared. And this can come through in like a whole variety of settings, and it doesn't have to be major, but we'll often see it in breakdowns of relationships, or when we've lost a job, or if somebody's died, or we're in war-torn countries, or like whatever, right? We are in this space of what I knew to be true is now not true anymore, and I don't know what to do. And in the master's call, we were speaking about this feeling of despair, or this feeling of overwhelm, or this feeling of being alone. Did you just see that? You're never alone. This feeling of being alone, this feeling of it's all too much, this feeling of I'm trying to hold on and I can't. And we've all been there, right? We've all been there in one way or another. And I think the way that we have handled this in humanity has mainly been around, all right, let's try and rush through this. Let's try and make this better. Let's try and fix this. Let's try and, But actually, when we start to look at actually what is the real purpose of darkness, it gives us for me anyway, it gives us this very different relationship to what it is, and this different understanding of why it's there. And I've heard it all. I've heard people say, well, the reason why you're going through this is because you must have done something bad in a past life. I don't believe that to be true. I've had people say, well, the reason why you're going through that is because you brought it upon yourself and your thoughts have not been pure enough. I definitely don't believe that. I've had people say that, well, you're clearly not spiritual enough, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. Like, my experience really is, and it should probably come with a warning, but my experience really is that as we move on to the path, and as we do more of our own inner work, that these dark nights of the soul, they happen more often. Like, if you're like me, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna be spiritual, and then like, nothing bad will ever happen to me ever again. It doesn't happen like that. And in tonight's call, we were speaking about that because I kind of think it like it's the other way around. The more we're into it, right? The more we're doing this, the more we come into who we are and want to try being our true selves, like the light that we are, the full potential that we are. It's almost like the more these dark nights of the soul happen. And I'm not saying that to put you off, because I'm definitely on a recruitment drive for spirituality. Um, but I think we've cracked it. I think we discovered why. Because if you think about why, if it's not because we've got some karma biting us in the bum, if it's not because we have done something like out of alignment and the universe is trying to knock us back in, then it's got to be for something else. And I think that something else is coming into a reorder of things. Because if you think about what the dark night of the soul is, it's this: I can't see what's true anymore. The resources that I have don't work anymore. And as my mentor Robert said to me, it's like, in the darkness there is no mirror. Like, you can't see the version of yourself that you've created. And in Akashic Reiki terms, we speak about the true selves and the created self, or the overlays. And actually what happens is all of those things, so the programmings and the identities that we've shaped and the strategies that we've put on to help us survive through our lifetime, we can't see them anymore, or at least we can't rely on them anymore, because everything's dark, everything's black. And so the only thing that's really there left is this spark of light. And we need to work out how to find it. And when we do find it, we can work out then how to be guided by it and what it's doing. So when we think of it in this way, the dark night of the soul isn't there to harm you. It's got to be there to teach you something. It's got to be there really to help you evolve. And we don't want to evolve from the limited version of who we've been before. Really, it's like, if you know the tarot, it's like the tower moment. It's like this thing of, I've built where I am up so much. I've discovered who I am. I've created all of this stuff. And, maybe I've got, my house in order, my finances in order, or my work in order, or I know enough, or I've established my unique selling point, or I've got my branding down to a T, or I've got my identity as a mother, a sister, a child, whatever, right? I've got that all done. And now what's the next step? But it's like, as you coming on this path and you're evolving quicker, it's almost like the stack of cards that are sitting underneath it are like getting wobbly. And so all of a sudden it all just has to dismantle. And then we dismantle it, and then we're like, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm left with. I have got nothing. Help me. And we come into this state of like full surrender, because everything that we've known to be true is no longer true. And then what do we do? Then where can we turn? And I think before we're on a spiritual path, where we turn is to self-soothing practices, where we turn is to alcohol, or to Netflix, or to social media, or to playing games, or to love and light, and all of these things, or we try and fix it, we try and scramble our way out of it. But when we understand that the darkness is not there to to floor you, that like actually you're made in a way that is here to help you move and evolve through it, well, then suddenly we don't need to try and rush ourselves out of it. Suddenly we understand it to be the reordering of things, so that we can then become the person that we're always going to be, so that we can then recode our system so that we're guided by the truth of who we are, the inner light, the strength of who we are. And when we do that, everything changes. Because now we're not trying to bypass it. Now we're not trying to other it. Now we're not saying, you know what, you did something wrong, which I see in the spiritual space all of the time. Well, if you were doing it properly, you wouldn't have received that. No, that's not true. If you're doing it properly, you'll have one every week, because you're constantly evolving and you're constantly moving. But here it got really interesting. So before the call, so before my master's call tonight, I got my Akashic deck. So this is the Akashic Oracle by Marina Beech. And I pulled some cards and I was like, if from an Akashic point of view, what is the purpose of darkness? Because that's what we were working on tonight. Really, this is to help create the teachers of this system so that we can hold this space. And it was very interesting what it came up with. The first one was this card 19, Inner Authority. And there she is, like this golden goddess riding the lion. And this is the point. What is the purpose of darkness? Well, it's to reorder your inner authority. It's to stop being run by the strategies and the way that we've seen the world and everything that we've known to be true, and actually change, like, what is it that is guiding me? What is it that I trust? Because in a dark night of the soul, when everything's gone, there's only one thing left, and that is your light. And you know where the light shines brightest? In the dark. So we go and we find it and we tame it. We master it, we bring it in, we befriend it. And then that becomes our guide. And you know what? If you're sitting on a lion, you're riding everything, right? Came with another card. What is the purpose of the dark night of the soul? Strengthening boundaries. Because here I am now, no longer informed and guided by only the things that I've known to be true. Here I am now, truly guided by my inner light. And the things, the overlays that were sitting there in front of me, they no longer make sense. And so no longer do I have to people please. No longer do I have to search outside of me for that satisfaction. No longer do I need to bring that through to feel better in myself. No longer do I need to outsource my joy and my pleasure and my light and my life force. So I don't need to temper myself to make you feel better. I know who I am, I know how I serve. I've become more of the true me. And the conversation that we were having tonight was, as healers and as guides, our job is changing. No longer are we here to be like, well, let me help you out of that dark night of the soul. Our job is here now is to say, I am here and I will sit with you in the dark until you find your light. That's our job. And it's the hardest thing that we will do as a healer. But when we do it and we master it and we can be there and we can hold it in ourselves and in our clients, everything starts to change, because we begin to not only be able to be all right in the dismantling, but we're able to re-inform it and reimagine things and rebuild things now from a much higher level of awareness, from a much stronger level of foundation. And that's how we become, strengthening our nervous system, strengthening our energy body so that we're expanding like the universe. We're becoming bigger. We're becoming more of ourselves, which the darkness, from the definition of not the evil kind of darkness, but this darkness, it's the void. It's the place before. It's the place before the Big Bang. It's the place that we're expanding into. It's the womb. It's the the place where the light exists. And so now we've got more expansion, and now we've got more going on. And that is exciting. So my little TEDx today is, don't be afraid of the dark. Learn to love it, learn to understand it, learn to be in it. And rather than asking, how do I get out of this? Which is normal. And I know it's hard and it's the crappiest thing. And asking yourself, what's the purpose of this? And let that be your guide. And by the way, don't do this alone. And I now have four with my soul school masters who would be in a very good position to hold that space for you. Don't do it alone. We'll be talking about this in the hidden agreements as well. So if you want to come on the links in the bottom here. Let's start recoding for success. Let's start recoding for our full potential. Let's stop building from the spaces that are less than who we are. There's exciting things coming, and I am all for it. See you soon.